Well, this is Tasha T. Right about now, it's all about the Roots Reggae Radio. So let's talk with Lady Sharon.
Wagwan Instagram Live. Wagwan Blackbird Melody. Thank you for joining us. And as we welcome some people in, Shireen, big up yourself. Yazo, big up yourself. We're looking forward to having with us tonight Damaris,
We should be living in. Well, this is Tasha T. And right about now, I want to say enough respect going out to Lady Sharon. So keep
Yes, so we are here awaiting consciousness coach Damaris Al-Ma'at Bay. It's a new name that she has now acquired and lives by. So we're just waiting for her to join us. And I'm going to just tell you just a little bit about Damaris, where she is a wellness coach. She most recently launched, and she is the master manifester. So we're going to be talking today about manifesting and really an alignment and, you know, how we could move forward with intent. So, I think, okay, and there she is, the lady of the hour, Damaris. Let's just add her. Okay, let me just, I'm learning. I'm trying to be independent, China. There we go. So it should come on. And there we go. Greetings, greetings.
Greetings, peace and love.
Yes, I can hear.
Make sure my camera.
Shit. Are we good for mic? Okay. So welcome, Damaris Al. Wait, let me say that. Yeah, Damaris Al-Ma'at Bay.
Damaris Al-Ma'at Bay. Yes.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. And you just most recently acquired that name, correct?
I wouldn't say it was recent. I would say it's always been who I am.
Yes.
I came into discovering who that was.
Yes, but you
But I've been proclaiming, I've been proclaiming myself as a free national Moor, and my free national Moorish name is Damaris Al-Ma'at Bay.
Beautiful.
For about maybe 3 or 4 years now, officially, publicly, a little bit longer privately.
Oh, girl, it's been that long, eh? Oh my goodness. It's beautiful just to see the growth, you know? It's just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You've always had that beautiful energy. You've come from a background of strong discipline. You know,
Sure
I always
do.
have to say, I'm a big up with your Olympian gymnast, almost Olympian gymnast, but it's all good. You were there. Things happen. And you look beautiful. You look the same. You haven't, nothing has changed, man. You look the same.
Man.
I haven't seen you in a minute.
I don't know. I have a 9-year-old now, so lots has changed for me, but oh man.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're gonna just dive in there into today because we want to just tell us a little bit more about your mission as the master manifester. Tell us about that.
Well, it's funny because I won't give too much away because it is all in my book. It's and my book is kind of a homage to my history, my I guess it's more of a spiritual awakening that I've been on, a particular journey that I didn't realize I was on. And I came into knowing and understanding it more over the years as I progressed. But it all started actually with a friend of mine invited me out one time, and someone was there, and they decided that they just needed to read my palm. And this guy was just adamant about reading my palm. He was like, I have to read you. I don't know why I'm being called toward it. And I was like, I mean, okay, but you know, back up off me. It was scary at first. And so anyhow, he read my palm, and there were a few things that occurred in my life since then that I guess he prophesied to a degree. He saw that in my future, and I started to do a lot of the things that he suggested, which we'll get into a little bit later. And what it ended up doing was guiding me onto a path of manifestation. It ended up guiding me onto a path where I started to learn about myself in a totally different realm, in a new light. And I began to manifest things out of thin air. And as I saw myself do that, and I started to learn more about not just manifestation, but it's more of a manifestation of energy. It's not a manifestation of things. It's a manifestation of frequency, of beingness, of knowledge, if you will. And as I started to kind of move in that direction, things just kind of fell into place. And now my mission is just really about teaching other people to do the same things, teaching other people how to get to know themselves so well that they have their own, ways in which to manifest, because everyone is unique, everyone is different, and everyone's conversation with the universe is different at all times. So the way I do it isn't always going to be the same way that, works for the next person. So it's more about fine-tuning that conversation between the self and the self, really.
I and I.
And yeah, exactly. And then manifesting from there. So that's been my mission now, is to just bring those lessons forward, and also to help people to recognize themselves. Our people don't always know who we are. We like to think we do, but there's a lot we don't know.
Oh yeah. And when we don't know who each other is, it even defines respect. It defines how we love and treat each other, because we might treat each other with high regard, low regard, just because we don't know who we are.
Exactly.
And everyone needs love and respect, And when I look at manifestation, you said earlier that you were on that, it came about, you didn't know you were on this path, but then it came about. And the thing is, that I look at manifestation, we are always manifesting.
It's the nature of human beings.
But what is it that we're manifesting? I remember when I was working in corporate Canada, and a lot of things were happening. It was just happening. And people were like, what's wrong with you? And this is when The Secret came out, that book. And they were like, you're thinking, I was like, what the frig are they talking about? Stupid secret. Are they telling me that something wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with me. It's just happening to me. I didn't tell them to do that. This time, your frequency, your meditation, you talk about the frequency, your meditation upon certain things, and it's involuntarily manifesting things that you are afraid of. Jamaicans saying what is it? I think it's the things that you fear the most come to you.
And they most certainly do. Yeah. And that's the thing about this whole idea of manifestation. Now, it's a bit out there as far as the subject goes, and how much people follow it as a fad, as this cool new thing. But the nature of beingness, the nature of human beings, is to manifest. We can't help ourselves. That's what we're here to do, is to manifest. And so, if you're not recognizing on a regular daily basis, moment by moment, that what's within you is causing for the things in your life to manifest the way in which they're manifesting, then you have no chance. You're way back of the line. You're waiting for someone to answer your hand, and nobody's answering your hand, because you don't have the basis, the very basic aspect of the understanding.
Yes, it's and it's you're even sort of saying a bit of accountability. You need to know.
Most certainly.
You need to acquire knowledge. You need to, you went on that journey. You had a desire. You had it, as you said, already in you. Right? And this is what was leading you, but then you were aware. You came into that awareness as a consciousness. And not, I think it's just beautiful. You're a young sister, and you're younger than me anyway, right? Yeah, young sister. You guys are growing up. Women now, right?
Gaining on you.
Where it's beautiful to see you knowing who you are. Right?
You know what? It's interesting you say that in that way too, because knowing who you are in one space, and I was very much on a journey of self-understanding, self-understanding, and discovery. And I found out who I was, so I thought. And then I came into another school of thought that helped me to understand not just who I was spiritually, but also what that meant in this physical realm, how
Right.
that spiritual me manifests and who she is and how she is and what she produces here and why. And it brought everything all together for me. And that's why I was so excited to have this conversation with you tonight, especially about, not just manifestation, but the principles um, of the principles that I choose to follow, and many other people have their own sets of principles. They just kind of tend to fall in line, which is beautiful many times.
Yes,
But
yes.
but those principles came from a place that allowed me to really have a completely new understanding of self and what that means as a being here on earth. A lot of us, well, I would say back in the day, it wasn't that long ago, but I saw the Zeitgeist for the first time, I don't know, a decade ago,
Mhm.
12, 13 maybe years ago. And that movie, that documentary got me angry. I was pissed. I
Hold the
was
name
so
again. What was the name of the
angry.
documentary? What was the name?
Zeitgeist? Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist. I think it's like
I'm shocked at it.
ZEITG
I'm
something.
gonna check
I don't
that
know.
out.
I'm going to destroy it. But
I'm gonna check that out.
anyhow, yeah, I mean, for
Yeah.
those of us that are in complete trust of the so-called government, I'd say definitely check out the Zeitgeist because you'll get some refreshing ideas of what's really going on in the world from this particular perspective. So it comes with a grain of salt, it comes with its own position and perspective. However, in watching this film, um, I got angry. I got angry because I realized I didn't have any way of remedying the issues that were being presented in this film and the issues that are even being presented to us now in the world. Every day we wake up and we have to do the things that we've been doing, to appease the powers that be and follow their nonsensical rules in many cases. And so being in this space all of a sudden where I was like, wait a second, this is all a game and it's against me and I can't do anything about it. What am I going to do? How can I get up and be an advocate of righteousness in the world? And I was angry for a good number of years about not having power in this so-called realm. And what that did was it prepared me to be able to come into my power and recognize where my power lied. I might not, be able to shake hands with the right people behind the right closed doors, but I can manifest and I can manifest real good. And I can create the realm, the world in which I want to raise my child in. And so the power became mine, but from a totally different realm, and I recognized my own magic. And that's where the principles that I began to live my life by. And I always had been, but I was doing it consciously now. And, those principles, those principles became, it was like it was like this perfect flow, this perfect balance between knowledge and assertion and knowing the self, where these principles just came into being and I was able to actually find power and work my magic and manifest the things that I thought were important in the world. And I mean, I manifested this conversation. And to be completely honest, I mean, when I envisioned it in my mind, I didn't envision Lady Sharon. I had no clue this vessel would be the one that would carry me to this space. But I know that there are words that I have, there are lessons that I have to offer to the world. And so I manifested a space for me to be able to, share those messages.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really
And
cool.
I do want to look at the principles because I mean, when you had actually came in on behalf of our brother Simba, and this is where this conversation had started, and I was like, we're going to talk about love and want to talk about stuff, which we are going to touch on that, but it was where we're going to go, we're going to go there. But I forgot what I was saying
Principles.
we
You're on the
yeah,
principles.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We were talking about the Kwanzaa principles at the time, and you got all enthusiastic because you were ready to share about the principles of Islam. And now what the principles of Allah, they have the principles and they have the pillars, right? So we're gonna look into the principles.
We can
So
look. We can. We can look into the principles and the pillars. Now, when I say Islam, um, maybe there should be a little bit of a clarification there, because
definition, yes.
yeah, when I speak about Islam, I'm speaking about a way of life. I'm speaking about a mindset. I'm not talking about Islam in the sense most people have a relationship with the definition, with that definition of Islam. When I say Islam, I mean I self-law am master.
That's what it
And
means, sound vibration. Yeah, man.
exactly. It's if there's a religion I follow, it would be Islamism, which is bringing that space, that sense of self into my everyday life every day.
Yeah.
And so it's a study of self. Which is all things, right? It's not your average or your layman's term understanding of what Islam is. So there are pillars of Islam, and I believe those. I've studied them very prematurely. I wouldn't say in any depth, but I have brought the idea of and the action of self-love, and therefore the love of all beings into being, and that's where my Islam resides.
Yes, and I like the
Mhm.
angle of where we're going at, because when we were talking cooperative economics at that time, you had to still get to the root of knowing thyself, loving thyself, before you could even give any kind of contribution to society to be a part of any
Exactly.
kind of cooperative economics. And you have to have a certain state of mind in itself
Hmm.
to be
Hmm.
able to even have that and play, that effort, that team,
Right. There has
that
to be a
body,
mental
that
unity.
body.
There has to exactly a mental, a spiritual unity, nationality, if you will.
Yeah.
It, all of our leaders, um, so-called Black leaders in the past, have all done their best in bringing forth that conversation, and I think that many of us miss the mark in truly understanding and overstanding, um, the difference in the conversation between, for instance, civil rights and human rights, and what it means. And our focus has just been on something a little bit, let's
Right.
call it, I mean, I like to say it's perverted, but that's just, you have to know me to understand that I don't mean perversion in the same way, but it is perverted. It's
This word, you just, when you, yeah,
yeah,
image,
it's
yeah.
exactly, it's a distortion. It's a distortion of the true understanding of what those messages really meant. And so when I speak about, the principles of Islam, I'm speaking about righteousness. I'm speaking about what's right and what isn't. You know, it's the essence of the commandments, if that's where you want to go with it. It's the essence of the very first laws any man ever followed ever. It's the beginnings and the essence of where we even get our own laws from, and how we govern ourselves in society. And
Yeah.
so it's yeah, it's
And I
primal.
want I want to take a quick moment just for a little bit of housekeeping here too,
Hmm.
to take time to speak to our viewers, listeners. Feel free, those that are on Instagram Live and on the Twitter Live, to drop any questions that you want to dialogue, and any comments in the question section as well, towards myself or Damaris at Bay as well. I want to just take the time to read. Today I was at a service. We lost a loved one, and I had read
Hmm.
from Selassie, and I give thanks to all those people that have shared about Selassie, because I never really understood. I put this everything in this box of religion. When you say way of life, I just want to read
Hmm.
the quote that I read. I'm just trying to put my hands on it here. At the same time, feel free, again, those are on Instagram and Twitter, to just drop in your questions in the question section. To Damaris L. Bay. I'm so used to saying Damaris.
You can just say Damaris. I'm fine with that.
Damaris. Yeah, but I feel that I need to be deliberate in who you are, and you've chosen to define who you are, and I like the vibration. It's awesome, you know. And you do reading as well, right?
I do. I read as well. Yeah,
read.
I'm a card reader, and I read just about everything. So
yeah.
yeah.
If
you want me to read some sticks, I can do sticks for you.
What sticks? Can you describe some of these things? Because the funny thing is, so many things have been so taboo, but to everybody, to us, but everybody else, it's like nothing. They know. They've been practicing this. I'm wearing my crystals, you know what I mean? And I'm like serious about that. I'm serious about meditating and letting it soar into my head. There's certain practices and lifestyles that we need to adapt. I want to actually, while I look for this quote that I read earlier at the service, I want to look into let's talk about a bit more about meditation, the significance in terms of your meditation and your manifestation. There's everybody has different ways of meditating. I'm big on integration of meditation in the way that you just flow, right? But now I'm big on a consistency and an order of meditation up through my morning up. I try to do journaling backwards. I didn't do it during my meditation. I went from meditation to workout because of the time. And then I went to journaling. I totally forgot my dreams. So just if you could share with our listeners, viewers, the significance of meditation and manifestation.
I think to start, what I've learned in my own practices where meditation is concerned is that it's truly unique to each person. So a meditation could be a walk. A meditation could be, sitting in silence, contemplating. A meditation could be listening to the random sound of the air conditioner in the room. A meditation can be anything and everything, and it is.
This is it.
And so to just sort of take off the stigma a little bit, a lot of people think that in order to meditate, they have to sit in a lotus position and or whatever, whatever it is they think. A lot of people have a vision, an idea of what meditation is, and meditation is truly anything. So I like to bring my meditations into all of my actions throughout the day. So whether I'm washing the dishes or I'm speaking to my child, there's an aspect of awareness of the present moment and being my true self and my whole self in that present moment. And that is my meditation. That came with a lot of practice and knowledge and understanding. However, in getting there, I've used a ton of different methods of meditation. Excuse the sirens outside. But there are different methods that you can use. However, the idea of meditation is truly just to be in the present moment. It's to bring your mind space out of whatever regular pattern that you've been thinking in, that the mind has been getting used to, and breaking that pattern in order to make space for the present moment. That's really where the magic is now.
And the magic, that's what was triggering off the magic, right? That's why I want to talk about definition of how to turn on that magic too. I found the quote, but I also wanted to say two other quotes. The one from the scriptures where it says, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of good report, think on those things. And that's like one of my favorite, because you have to bring in that ideation of it seems positivity. Sometimes I actually get annoyed when people want everything positive, you know what I mean? When we're in the fire right now, how can you be positive? You know what I mean? And it's like, right? But whatsoever things
sometimes
are lovely,
it comes with fire and brimstone.
There's reality.
right? It's
Yeah,
it's not always positive and flowery and
exactly.
everything's all it's not always calm.
Yeah,
Sometimes, it's sensible to be the reflection of the lower self.
exactly.
Sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah, because
I like to use
that's
children
being
and
honest.
how I deal with my son in many instances, because I'm perfectly happy to be the reflection of the devil if he needs me to. Because if you want to get
He wants
mad,
to go
I'm
there.
bada. If you
Hey,
want to get
you
loud,
want
I'm
to
way
mess with that? You
louder.
don't want the side.
We could go there if you need to.
Oh,
I'm
shucks.
okay with that. And that's the thing, being comfortable and confident in the present moment to be whatever
Confident.
is called for that present moment. Hmm.
Confident. And what is
Hmm.
called for? What is relevant?
What is
Okay.
relevant?
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, it's meditation is tricky because there's so much stuff out there. There's so much hoopla, I call it, that, people try to define, and you always have some cutesy looking, yoga squatting.
And I wanted those in the morning, okay?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody is
I just
so
started going
positive
back.
in my realm type of people. You always
I
have those
stretch for
people, and
sure.
they're always out there, you know, get rid of all the negativity in your life, and,
Oh
good
yeah, no,
vibes only.
yeah.
And that's great. That's great. And it's necessary for some people in spaces
You
where
have to
they need it.
embrace the truth.
Exactly.
This is
But
what's up. This is what's up. Embrace it. Don't be like literally compartmentalizing. I actually go nuts. I'm very detailed, so it
hmm
has to be the full picture. You know what I mean?
yes, yes,
Roosberg have me, they know that. But then when
yes.
it comes down to like literally compartmentalize, it's a pet peeve of mine, I won't lie.
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
because it's like, no, let's look at the whole thing, because it can get a little bit patronizing when you just want to go over there. But no, but this is the area that's where flames are, and let's go, so
Exactly,
yeah, we have to be
exactly.
true. But there was somebody, let's go back into that whole manifestation, because there was somebody also, a millionaire, 7-figure friend of mine. He said to me, he goes, we're always learning, sort of like
Yeah,
manifesting, and it's what we're learning. So in other words, you think your kids aren't learning, they're learning something.
they're always learning something. The mind is
Everybody is
always
always learning.
absorbing.
We were talking about the dogs tonight, right, Shayna?
Yeah.
And they know. I said they've been around for how long? They know English like clean. They know
Oh
everything.
yeah.
And then Shayna's like, "Them no
My dog,
patois."
my dog speaks patois. Okay, my dog
If you see
fully
the
speaks patois. He understands
when the
every
artists are
ratchet
up on
word.
the thing, that you like, they're honestly not like, I'm like dealing with them trying to DJ. I swear these
Hmm.
dogs want to DJ next. If they could have run it, they would have run it. But they understand what I want. So
Hmm.
we're learning. We're deep on meditation, and then we're also looking now at manifesting, the awareness that we are also manifesting what where meditation is on. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Hmm.
So this is when I'm just like, I just wanted to. It's not sort of like a waiver, right? Because I know when you were talking about Islam, and we really want to talk about the pillars. I actually studied for 5 years plus. You know
Beautiful,
what I mean? I got my Quran. You know what I'm saying? I got my hijab, everything.
beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't Sunni. I was just you know,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
right. So now that, but anyways, and for me, I'm just very spiritual.
Hmm.
I think I identify a lot with Rastafarism. I'm just learning more about it because I always used to shun it because I was highly Christian, and the same person that I bury today is the same I take Shemidepan,
Hmm.
and that separated us.
Hmm.
So I want to read what I read today and I give thanks to my, if she's out there on the show today. I'm not even healing up, but my sister Wiz, Selectress, because she's been always sharing to me about Selassie, and these are like, oh, this is great. But I realize why he loves Selassie. You understand? This guy
Hmm.
loves Selassie and look like Selassie and I love Selassie. Right? Everybody thinking he's 73 times incarnation. Oh, he was just love Selassie. He's
Hmm.
around. Big up to Ravi, Um, and this, I'm just going to read this from Selassie. We must stop confusing religion and spirituality. Religion is a set of rules, regulations, and rituals created by humans which are supposed to help people's spirituality.
Hmm.
Due to human imperfection, religion has become corrupt, political, divisive, and a tool for power struggle, literally in my life. I bear witness.
Yes.
Spirituality is not theology or ideology. It is simply a way of life. Remember you said that. This is why I'm reading this. pure and original as given by the Most High. Spirituality is a network linking us to the Most High, the universe, and each other. And so I just had to put that there when I heard you say it's a way of life. So I want you to continue to share with us this way of life. And I'm glad that you're sharing because I'm about integrating meditation. I'm about integrating exercise. I want to integrate everything. I'm about holistic living. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning, like I had an experience. I have had this a lot, but this one was like, I haven't talked to this person in 3 months. And I wrote down, call this person at 7 p.m. Because I'm now journaling, because I'm journaling the dreams, but you have to have them in order. I realize there's an order. Your order, though, it's my order. It might not be for you, as you said. You know what I'm saying? But it's how I needed to sequence my life to
that's the religion
get
of
this
it.
Manifestation, right? And write down 7 p.m. Call this person that I haven't heard from 3 months. This is an A-list or somebody, you know what I mean? 6:57, they called me. Oh, this is what it's like. Right? I bear witness. You know what I mean? It's like, so we have to learn how to really clear that mind.
Well, this
you
is
have to give time to clear that mind.
Right. There's a fine line I've been learning recently about discipline.
Yes.
And really defining what those principles are and how they manifest in my life. And I'm a rebel at heart. If there's a rule, I promise you I've been figuring out the break. Oh, am I? Could it be that my parents are my parents? I don't know. Like I'm a rebel at heart. And so I can't help but find laws and ways in which to find ways around them. It's like it's in my nature. It's ingrained in me. And what I recognize,
you're aware. You're like, yes.
But what I realize now is that I was a national gymnast at a very young age. 9 years old, I was competing internationally across the globe. And so for me, I learned discipline very, very young. And I mean, I was training 25 to 30 hours in grade 3, grade 4, and all the way into my, later years in high school. And so I understand discipline in a way that most people never had the opportunity to experience. I had to be on my P's and Q's. I had to have a very tight schedule. I had to make sure that my homework was done. I had to make sure that I ate dinner at a certain time because I was in the gym after school. I didn't go to friends' houses. I didn't do sleepovers. I didn't go to the mall. I didn't do those things. I was in the gym training, from very small size and young age. Like, right. Wow. But because of this, I learned discipline. And then when I got a little bit older, I retired from gymnastics and I went buck wild. And I was like, discipline? Who needs discipline? I've had discipline forever. Who needs discipline? And I proceeded to prove all of my coaches wrong, to prove my parents wrong. I wanted to prove to them that life could occur without discipline. And I proved it. I proved it real good. But what I learned is that a life without discipline is just sporadic and chaotic. Yeah. And although I had those same spiritual experiences, that chaos brought forth a lot of spiritual knowledge and spiritual experience for me. However, now in the last 10 years of my life, I've had to learn to find that discipline and apply it to the chaos that I love so much. There's a space and there's a time for spirituality and being able to be creative and move in whatever direction you want. But there has to be a method, a religion, if you will, a system that allows for you to practice that spirituality in a way that you can fine tune where it's going. Otherwise, you could be the most spiritual, guru on the face of the planet, but you're not going to manifest jack because there's no system.
Yeah, but again, we're still manifesting. It's just what it is, what we're manifesting.
Exactly. I was manifesting things and not recognizing that I had manifested them.
Yeah, you could be manifesting.
Exactly. I was manifesting a whole lot of, I manifested all sorts of stuff. I manifested things for other people more so even than I did for myself. Right. When I would be in a relationship And that relationship would just, it would dissolve after X amount of time. And then I would come in contact with that person again and realize they're soaring in life. It's like they slungshot off of me and they're gone. And I'm like, how come they're having so much success? Where's my success? It was like I was giving my energy to them. I was creating for them and allowing them to siphon off my energy and not directing it for myself. And so there's a fine line, I find, between spirituality and discipline and religion and what religion means, and that action of doing the same things in a repetitive motion, and recognizing how that repetitive motion has an effect on what it is that you're producing.
I bear witness. I mean, I'm happy to say that, and I don't normally speak about them, but I have children. My kids are now, all of them have graduated from college. But I'm going to tell you, we lived a life where we prayed every single day and night. And then the moment, this is when the youngest one she's still with me, and she just graduated last year. I'm a proud mom.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
Yeah. And needless to say,
you're saying with religion and
as soon as we stopped praying that prayers, like she's coming in at whatever hours and she's just doing her own thing, and whoop, things shift fire. And you forget you're on a different vibration and frequency. And I remember actually being really vexed at God, the Creator. Vexed. It's like, what's up? Whatever. Not understanding how this life is and how it really works. And now, so learning how to manifest, not live in fear. I used to wake up every morning scared. And it nearly attacked me 2020. And I realized, okay, I've got this, I've got the water, I've got everything I need. I've even got my crafts. I had everything. Zippers, anything I needed. Food, water, grains, because I eat whole. I've been eating whole before it was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Right? And
all the things right in line.
Yeah.
But something's not clicking.
Yeah, and trust me, and there was something more to change it. It had nothing to do with what I was eating. Then I exercise. The exercise brings that discipline, as you said, and trying to do it, and then you start to turn to fidget girl, and I'm really proud of my body right now, but I won't lie, right? But you started to, change those outer shell things. And whatnot. Then there's this pandemic. What God?
Yeah.
I was like shaking. I was like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, and people died. There's still BS going on, but big up to all the truckers out there. Transportation is funny. I was bigging them up the other day, not knowing this was transpiring. But I see people having to drive people to dialysis, regardless of what. You know what I mean? So big up to transportation. And I used to work in there too. I come from corporate Canada, and I used to work in transportation, logistics, I would say, right? But needless to say, that's yesterday. So needless to say, I'm looking at just the difference of the mind that I realized at that point, that without the spirituality, there is no mental health at all.
It doesn't exist.
So I know that we are living in a digital time. I'm going to look at some of the questions that come. The 2 questions have come in, but we are living in a digital time. And I've heard people say, "I'm good by myself," and this time they're like, "This is very good by themselves." They're not by themselves. They're on a program. They're not by themselves, and and I'm seeing the danger in this, and versus really getting to full joy oneself, discovery, and that beauty. And really, I find that the best time is early. As soon as you rise, choose meditation. Cancel that. Choose meditation over worry. And it's great. It's a great place to be.
It is. It is. I want to
Wow.
interject because it's funny because I, in that same breath when we talk about, the discipline of it and waking up and following that routine, there's levels of spirituality that require that. And then once you move beyond those disciplines, the necessity of discipline, once you move beyond the reality that my meditation is always my meditation, my religion is always. There's never a moment that I'm not in meditation. There's never a second that I'm not in my routine, because my routine is being me. I'm already me. I don't have to practice that. So there's degrees and levels to it in a way, and it manifests in this way that sometimes for me, being that rebel spirit, I would say, well, I recognize the need and the necessity for the religion aspect of it, for the discipline. But I also know I don't need it, because I know I can close my eyes, take 2 breaths, and manifest whatever the hell I want. Like literally.
Listen, whatever you're
Literally.
following
I'm
is
not
your
joking.
religion.
Exactly. So there's a very
Everyone.
fine line between knowing
Your way of life.
and believing. And when you're still in the energy of belief, that religion, the discipline helps, because it shows you every day how on
I didn't
time it can
understand
be.
it. Sometimes I thought it was anal. And in fact, I understood the power of that repetition. When I heard the sister say repetitiveness, I was like, I bear witness the significance of, I thought it was routine when we were saying our prayer. I mean, sometimes you get a little routine about it, but don't stop. Don't stop. Just keep your good
It
habits.
puts you in a rhythm.
At the
Exactly.
least, yes, a frequency,
Exactly.
I see a question from Art Avenue, and then I know that my sister, I mean, we're going to look at a degree of where you can start. How can meditation help with your anxiety and fear? What is the best way to practice mindful meditation? And I want to just touch on this, just a hint, and I'll let Damaris also hit it as well. But when we're looking to North American beings that are living in the cold, we are already breathing shallow. So it starts with breath. And I'll leave the rest with you, Damaris. I just want to say it starts with breath. So I'm always breathing the right way. I don't breathe the wrong way anymore. And
you say breath. When you say breath, for me, breath is spirit. Breath is life. You don't have life without breath. So if you're not filling your lungs with air and absorbing some degree of source energy, then you're dead. Or you're on your way there quickly.
Yeah, you're on your way. You're constipated. You're
exactly. All kinds
angry.
of nonsense goes wrong without the breath. So I agree. That is the one place where it's the quickest fix is to oxygenate the blood. It's to oxygenate the body. The quickest fix.
Freest and the quickest.
Right? But I would say if there's a specific meditation or the types of mindfulness that can help the best with anxiety and depression and sort of that realm, mental health, I would say one is the breath, and the second thing is mindfulness practices. Mindfulness is just the practice of being in the now. And the best way I found to be able to get in the mind into the now space is to do, I'd call it a full body check. So in the morning when you wake up, you turn your body, you put your feet on the ground, and I like to have cold under my feet so it wakes me up quickly.
You're like my dad. That was my dad.
Yeah, I like a little, I'm a cold shower kind of person. Like I need something that just wakes me up big time. But you put your feet on the earth and you kind of do a run through of body parts. You feel your toes, you feel your feet, you feel your heels, you feel your ankles. You move up the ankles to the shins and the knees and the thighs and the hips and the whole hip girdle, the navel, and you feel your organs internally, and you go through. It's almost like a checklist, going all the way up from the bottom to the top. You go up. I like to go to the neck and then down the arms all the way to the fingertips, back up the arms, back into the head. And then I spend time in the brain. And I actually speak to my brain. I speak to the left side of my brain. I speak to the right side of my brain. I speak to the frontal lobe. I speak to the occipital at the back. I speak to every aspect of my brain, the internal part of my brain, so the inner brain, the midbrain. I speak to my pineal gland. I ask for the energies to be moving in and up. So it's it's a consistent and a constant active conversation that you're having with your body.
Beautiful.
These meat suits are, it's part of what we have here. This is what we have in order to access all of those powers and magic that we were talking about. So you have to check in with the meat suit. You have to make sure, it's doing its thing in all the right ways, and it's moving and picking and being where it's supposed to be at. So that would be my biggest thing. It's easy to go there because it's so mental. It's like mental gymnastics. You actually have to do something with your mind. So it's not like a process of trying to find silence, because that can be very difficult for people who aren't practiced and learned in the art of finding silence in one's mind to find silence. And then the moment you don't find silence and you catch a thought, and then you're all the way thinking over here when you really want to be in silence, and you're damning yourself and cussing yourself because you're supposed to be in silence, and then you're thinking you're doing it wrong. And then there's this whole other mental thing going on that that's the complete wrong space you want to be in.
When you were talking earlier about the debauchery of it, like the distortion of it, or the perversion of it. That's what you said, the perversion of it. Because this is what we got, this taboo thinking as we're relating to our spirituality, and we're using it all the time, and we're just misusing it. It's like, I know, like I was going through something, and instead of pulling in positive energy, my self-talk went down, and we got to learn how to fight and bring our self-talk up. And as you said, that awareness,
I had the luxury,
I
had the luxury a few years ago of witnessing my son's father quite literally bring himself out of a very deep depression.
Wow.
And he did it with repetitive affirmation.
Yes, manifest.
I watched this man wake up every single day and walk 5 to 8 miles every day. And every step of the way, he had a new affirmation. And I didn't realize, I was never somebody who struggled with mental illness, so I didn't understand it until I had my experience with him. And I realized how much work it is to change your belief, to change one's belief about self, to change one's belief about anything. And that's when I realized that I had kind of started with, a head start. I had a parent who was aware and alert of these things my whole life. And so she taught me to be aware of my thoughts. I learned how to meditate very early because of gymnastics and the mental, type of sport that it is. So I had already had those skills, and I didn't realize how much other people were lacking in that space. And so when I got to see and witness this man take himself from complete brokenness, like ready to be off with himself, to be done with life completely, and turn his life around in a way that it's outrageous. Even now, when I think about it, my hair stand up, because it was amazing what I watched him do.
Beautiful.
And so when I realized that was possible, he was a huge lesson in that for me. When I realized that was possible, that sort of bringing myself up out of this mental space and putting myself intentionally into another space. That's when I started to really get gung-ho on my writing and on affirming and starting a conversation with myself that was positive every single time. And any time in my life that I start manifesting things that I didn't mean to manifest, just something happens and I'm like, whoa, this is out of the ordinary. I realize that I haven't been, on my same affirmation list. There's a
that's why I said there's a
vision I have of my life that I affirm daily.
Yes.
And that vision is the only thing I aim for ever. And so and it's very easy to steer off, because you can wake up and, mommy, I have a stomach ache, or you can get up and Instagram's blowing up, or you can wake up and you have a message from some person that just sets you off, or whatever it is. There's always some stimulation that takes your attention away from the main goal. But if you can teach yourself to create a vision and then find positive language and then reaffirm that positive language that is in alignment with that vision on a consistent basis, it's like skyrocketing. You can create anything.
I meditate literally with a journal. If I don't meditate with a journal and I find a place, I go from meditation to contemplation. And as soon as I hit the contemplation, it's spilling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I never like it, and I just have to release. I just write,
Right. And just right. It's
and
funny
I'm trying to now
because
capture my dreams.
when I
Tricky.
started writing,
Was that tricky?
when I started writing,
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. No, so you usually
Yeah.
randomly remember a dream. And it's
Right.
I never knew how tricky it was to document your dreams, because usually
Very
something
hard.
makes you remember, and I'm like, but I just had the dream. I know.
And the moment
Where
you try
was
to find
I?
words, it's like it all just melts
But it's
away. Yeah. Yeah.
amazing when you just
Yeah.
meditate and just let it flow in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when you say something.
When I started writing, I realized very quickly that, and it was gratitude for me. I wanted to really touch on that. Was the next thing was gratitude writing and putting yourself intentionally into the energy of gratitude. Gratitude is love.
Yes.
It's unconditional love, what I've learned.
Beautiful.
And so when you can gratitude yourself into like I call it a gratitude frenzy. I could pull out a dust bunny from my jacket pocket and find a reason to be grateful for that shit. Like it's a sport. It's a sport. And
Yes.
when I started writing in gratitude, I realized that I was opening up a space where I could have perfect, clear, concise, and to the point communication with source. And so I spoke to God. I spoke to my creator in that space, because I realized I was writing myself into this conversation of pure exchange of energy, where I could ask a question, and as I was writing the question, the answer, I was receiving the answer.
Wow, that's why when you
exactly.
Wow, it was a good energy. You were really running. It was a good energy.
When I tell you the gratitude takes you far, man.
We just scratched the surface. We didn't even
exactly.
it. What?
Exactly. It's very powerful. It's an incredibly powerful process. That's part of what my course now, my Master Manifester Mastermind is about, learning the different writing techniques, meditative techniques, and visualization techniques that allow for you to put together a perfect, vision for your life. Get together the right language that affirms that vision, and then helping you to move through the writing exercises that allow for you to change your belief systems about yourself, so that you can be in perfect alignment with this new vision of who you are and what you're wanting to create.
And you know what I want to say when you say that? It's quite a spiritual attack when you start to change that belief system. As soon as you're like feeling all pumped about yourself, a dart's going to come and tell you.
I don't know if you've met my father before, Lady Sharon, but I walk into my papa's house every day with this bindi on my head, and he still can't catch it. He still doesn't get it. So I know all the spiritual attacks come from every direction.
Like, so you have to be like, I look at again what the 2020 landing hit me was the significance of the meditation, the significance of just really aligning and getting in tune. And another thing I wanted to even touch that I've recognized about intent, right? Is that I've been dancing with it. I haven't really been
but what is intention?
Plan.
What is intention?
This is where
define
the
it.
lesson comes in. So I'm just like, and this is why I have to call you Damaris Al-Ma'at Bey, because it is you defining who you are. You're by your full name. I'm not about religion. I'm about your vibration. And that was the vibration you chose. And
Islam.
It's beautiful.
Self-law and master. Absolutely.
We have another question dropping in from Christopher. What are your thoughts about psychedelics? I think he's talking about the shrooms. I know some shroom experts. Not about the tarot. I didn't even expect that question.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
Right? Well, here's the thing. Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. I'm glad that question is being asked, because, like I said, I am a rebel spirit. And there is
No.
nothing I will try once. There is nothing I will not attempt once, except for heroin, because that's crazy. We're just going to leave that there. So just to make, there isn't anything except for that thing that I would ever I would ever consider as far as altering one's reality and altering one's state of being.
I'm
Now,
glad that you touched that. It's
yeah.
the lifestyle that I won't say the lifestyle, the way of life that you have chosen rids you of any demand or need of it. Of the one that
Exactly.
I'm aiming for anyways, the one that I'm aiming for. You know what I mean? Everybody
Exactly.
have their crutches. It doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be addiction. It could be anything that knocks you out of your alignment.
Exactly.
Right? She
And
said out
so,
of yourself.
and that's exactly what I want to touch on when it comes to things like psychedelics, right? As somebody who is a rebel spirit, and I love a little bit of the danger. It's always been who I am. And
You don't know. I'm the
but
anti.
oh goodness, see, I'm the one who dives in first, and then I'm like, oh, wait a second, I have those principles I was thinking about. You know, my younger self, my lower self, just wants to dive right in and experience it all. And so when it comes to things like psychedelics and let's call them consciousness altering substances, they can be very, very helpful in many cases. However, they should be always approached with a sense of self-knowing, a sense of self-exploration, because when you approach those things with a what's the word I'm looking for? What do you call it? A jovial spirit. When you approach those subjects with, oh, I'm just going to try it. Yeah, I'm just going to try it. And yeah, it's going to be so much fun. That's the whole different realm.
Oh, okay. Not enthusiasm. I get what you're saying. A joke.
Right. Not enthusiasm, but yeah, it's jovial. It's the word I'm looking for starts with a C and I can't think of it, but it's very childish. It's very, oh, we're just gonna try it. It's like when someone asks me to read their cards and they're like, oh yeah, it'll be super fun, and I'm thinking, I don't know if you're ready, because I don't know how much fun you're gonna have, because when I tell you the truth, and the truth is, I would love to read you. I'd love to read you. Don't be terrified.
I've had someone do, like, it was not really a reading, it was like a more chakra alignment, but not a reading. I'm terrified because what it is, when I watched one of your YouTubes, right? And I saw that, I kind of gauged, correct me if I'm wrong, that you actually do readings for yourself, even with the other person, the other brother, shout out to Hierophant, who did a chakra alignment with me. And as I said, I was a warrior about it. I was in 3D and 5D all in one. I did not drop out. I was aware, but then interacting with everything because I am what I am. You know what I mean? Per se, so I'm used to something, but this was different. Terrified of being reading, and at the same time, I saw that you read for yourself. Do you read for yourself as well?
I try not to. And if I intentionally try to read for myself, it never comes out the same way as it does for another person.
What is a reading?
So a reading so you, like I said, I can read sticks, for instance, right? I am an intuitive reader. So I use tarot cards to, I align myself with source. I align myself with my creator. And I open my mind up to receive whatever messages are there to be received. And then I use things like tarot cards, or I can use tea leaves, or I can use sticks. I could just go outside, find some sticks, drop them on the ground, take a look at the sticks, and whatever. I trust the process as far as what ideas are being placed into me, what is being downloaded energetically into me. So I just let the words flow. I let the ideas flow. So a lot of times with tarot cards, for instance, the pictures will elicit some sort of emotional response from me. And then I have the duty or the responsibility of deciphering what that emotional response means in words and offering the message as it comes. So I don't always remember what I'm saying. I don't always know what I'm going to say.
You're used like a conduit of
it's like the words are just coming and I don't have any
Yeah,
control
I
over
absolutely
what those
respect
words
that.
are. Now, sometimes I have to go into my mind and find the right word that matches the idea that I have.
Hmm.
So there is an aspect of me, but I'm interacting with this other flow of energy.
Hmm.
And so every reader is different. You know,
Hmm.
there are people who read tarot cards and so they abide by the laws of the tarot.
Hmm.
They abide by, you know, all of the meanings of the cards.
Hmm.
But there are also people like me who,
You
yes, the
read
meanings of the cards
cards,
have, yeah, the meanings of the cards
numbers,
have numbers too. Um,
hearts,
it, it all comes. It's all different. It's like
spirit
a big
symbols.
mumble jumble of information that I have to decipher internally and then offer it. So the pictures and the numbers and the for instance shapes. If I'm reading sticks outside, the
Hmm.
shapes, the pictures that I see within the sticks are what's giving me the inspiration for the words that I speak.
Okay.
So
So
it's
you and
all interactive,
I sum
intuitive.
you up as to being a muse. You are a muse as well. You have muse
I hope
energy.
I'm somebody's muse. Let's
Yes.
hope
No,
so.
yes, yeah, because like that's the energy that I see. I mean, I today we had a good vibe today. I got a halo from I wish Grace Jones happy earth strong and big up to Grace Jones. I'm a big
How
Grace Jones fan
beautiful.
and she responded back and I was like,
Ah,
and she was David Bowie's muse. So I'm
yeah,
like big
yeah.
on I muse people for free all the time. And I just have to commend you on just really, choosing to learn, adapt, self-discover, and really put it into black and white,
Hmm.
whether it's for that person or not that person. I was like, can I get the book, please? We got to talk still. We got to talk. We got to
Yeah,
talk.
we gotta
Right?
talk about
She
that. Yeah,
does have
yeah.
a book coming out. If you could just tell our listeners a little bit more what they can expect from you. I want you to slate your name and spell it, please. Where they can find you on Instagram, your website, you name it. Just drop a line.
Okay, I'll do a few things in my response. So first, I do want to say I wanted to touch a little bit more on the psychedelics, and I just want to say that
Mm.
uh, it's essential that for me, my spiritual journey has involved psychedelics, most certainly. And the only thing I ever received from them was confirmation that what I already knew was sound. And so my I just want to reiterate that sense of truly knowing self. If you step into that realm and it's something that you want to explore within, make sure that it's something that you're approaching the action of taking these substances, whatever they might be, with a sense that you are going into this realm, this space of knowledge, in order to receive, in order to expand, in order to understand and understand. And if you approach it from that realm, I find, I've always had a safe experience with them. And I've also had to listen to my body. There's been times when my body completely rejected certain substances, and since then I haven't used them. So I just wanted to make sure that I clarify that thought. As far as the psychedelics go, it's a touchy subject, but it's definitely useful when it comes to discovering one's spirituality and the meanings of what's going on with you in your life. For myself, um, I have been writing this book, I'll say, for about, oh my goodness, actively 2 years.
Beautiful.
Inactively for the last 15 years. I've been writing and writing and writing, and I have about 1,000 pages handwritten that I am in the midst of putting, all together
Now, I
now and
really feel you when
organizing
you say
everything.
you're always on meditation. You're always up on a meditation. Because
Always,
sometimes we
always.
abuse it. Sometimes we're just thinking a lot. So yeah, when you are
Exactly.
releasing, when you have a certain activity that you can identify that, oh, people are, gurus are saying, do this, do that. And you're like, hey, I do this already. Okay. I
I've
need to
been
do
doing
this
this already.
more,
Yeah, wait a second. Maybe
So how can
that's
I
on the
integrate
right.
this?
Exactly, exactly. So I've been putting together my book for some time now, and what I decided to do in kind of bringing it all together was to have some people do kind of like a case study, if you will, of the program, and well, my business is Eden Rose. Eden Rose is kind of everything all conglomerated all together.
Can you spell it for
I
our
read
listeners and viewers? Because
Eden Rose is Edenrose, and it's Eden Rose is my way of life. That's what I like to call my religion, if you will. And so in Eden Rose, we practice all of these different methods of manifestation and meditation, visualization, and mindset, and recognizing self. And so I've found a really unique way of bringing it all together. And so I've been sharing that with some people privately, and slowly starting to kind of branch out and offer it to the public. And that's going to be the very final chapter of my book, is the experience in this group setting. So it's the book you can find. I mean, hopefully I can have everything put together. My goal was to have it out by August, September at the very latest. But beyond that, you can find my Mastermind. I have it linked in my bio. You can just look it up, send me your email.
and Eden spelled with a 3 for your Instagram. So if you go
My
for our
Instagram
Instagram
is
and
yeah.
Twitter,
My Instagram is 3denrose. So the number 3 DENROSE _ consciousness _ coach. But you can just look up 3Den. I'm the only 3Den out there. You'll be able to find me easily. And
3 Damaris,
the
that's
master,
true.
yeah. The manifestation mastermind, we come together every full moon and every new moon. We just had a session, what was it, 2 days ago, 3 days ago? 2 days, on the full moon. And our next session is February 1st on the new moon. And we will be, well, I won't give too much of it away, but there's we go through processes. We wake up bright and early. It's a 6 a.m. wake up time, and we convene together. We meditate together. We do some writing activities and some self-discovering.
Beautiful.
And it's a really beautiful time. It's a really, really beautiful time, actually. I love it, which is why I decided to offer it. It's completely free. And I mean, I don't ask for any exchange for this aspect of it. Moving forward, when I start offering it on a daily basis, which is likely going to start sometime maybe in May or June, there'll be an exchange for it. There'll be, it'll come at somewhat of a cost. But that's when we get into the daily manifestation and the daily aspects of really how the book works, is following along each day. There's a ritual to follow, and a writing ritual to follow every single day of the year for 365 days, or throughout the full zodiac. So we move through energies and activities based on the zodiac and the energies of the cosmos at the time being, at the present moment. So there's a lot going on, but it all comes together really beautifully. Yeah, so you can find that on my page.
Okay, this has been
easily. Just
awesome.
follow the link.
I'm so glad that we had this chance to speak. We're just here trying to plug out 3 Eden Rose. Yeah, coach, not Koa.
So,
you guys kind of get it there. You can kind of pull on the corner here and I realize I punch a lot with my middle finger. Oh shit. There's questions on Twitter as well. My apologies.
Oh, beautiful.
Let's have a look. It's okay.
The first one is, are affirmations and mantras the same thing? And if not, how do they differ?
Okay.
No. So a mantra is, so you can turn any affirmation into a mantra.
Yes, you can.
Put it that way. An affirmation is a sentence. It's a sentence that is stated in the now. So I am, well, for instance, in my writings every day I start with, I am Damaris Almafe, and I am a master of manifestation. That's what I've been telling myself for years. So that's who I am. So an affirmation is more of a statement that you can use in order to help your mind become or be or move into a new space. Mantras, my experience with mantras are that they are manifestation tools. A mantra is more of a meditation. A mantra is more of something that you can use to, again, like I said earlier, meditation is just taking that regular conversation that's happening internally and shifting it and changing it, stopping that conversation and starting some other thing. So mantra is a way in which you can stop that regular mental conversation from occurring and to begin anew. So, for instance, I like to use a lot of Buddhist and Hindu mantra for myself. My favorite mantras are the ones that you can kind of sing and you feel the vibration moving up through your chakras, and you can, you know, when you hum, you can feel the vibration on your teeth or on your tongue, or, you know, those are my favorite types of mantras.
Children do
But you
this
can
naturally. When you're saying this, children will, they're doing it naturally, and we forget. We forget.
All the time. Sounds. I like to use the mantra of ah. So ah is the creative sound of the universe.
Yes,
Think about it. Anybody who's ever had sex knows that they're like, ah, ah. Ah creates babies. It
And
creates
a
life
baby is
quite literally. Ah, exactly. So I love that one. It's one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
So that's sort of what a mantra is. A mantra helps you to stay in the vibration, and I would say an affirmation helps you to switch the conversation. So an affirmation rewrites the story, and a mantra helps you stay there. A mantra helps you continue with that vibration.
Yes, okay. It's a movement. It has the
I used to
movement.
take baths
Because I've seen
every day.
people where they say affirmations are not something that you really, they're not really real. When in fact, there's a scripture that I'm just trying to find the scripture, but it says, call things into being as if they were.
Yes,
And
that is an affirmation.
And this is why when we hear, we say this is taboo, you know, and I'm telling you, but I would go to South America and people would be like, well, who did you see? And I'd be like, and I understand the power. The scripture again will say, a wise man seeks wise counsel.
Exactly.
You know, I've been a mentor to many, and my mentees have mentored me.
Exactly.
You know, they have taught me. They said children are the wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, this is why I say it is beautiful to see you affirm and know who you are. It's critical that you're on this movement now and not waiting for approval from no one, but from the Most High Creator. This is the thing, and this is where we go wrong. Well, yes, it is good to have structure, each one teach one, because we really have forgotten how to breathe. But just look at a child. But again, the children them grow up still, but the mother is thinking sometimes kind of mess with the fit in that still. But you know what I mean? You have to really, mothers out there who are pregnant, please dip on meditation and meditation. Eat well, you know what I'm saying? Food has energy.
Well, fill your mind. Everything is food, right? Food is not just what you put into your mouth. Food is what you listen to. Food is what you look at. Food is what you tell yourself. Food is who you're around. Food is the energy in your home. You know, food is everything. Spiritual food exists in every direction. So yes, absolutely.
For one serious reason, but the questions are coming in. Let's see.
The next question is, sorry.
Yeah, man.
In this day and age of biological and spiritual warfare, is it more difficult to manifest, or are there obstructions to manifestation brought on by societal reforms or your environment?
Difficult? No. Most certainly. It's like firing it up. You have to remember that these sorcerers have been doing magic on our people for lifetimes, for generations. And they taught us in many ways to not know and believe in our own magic. And I promise you, they learned it from us. We are the creators of the magic. We are those alchemical sorcerers and sorceress and magicians and witches, and you could use whatever word you want to use to describe it.
Call you.
Exactly. It comes from us. It comes from the melanated beings on this planet. And so I would say in this day and age when spiritual warfare is so rampant for me, I use it as a slingshot.
Every time when I see madness, I come, I just see it. I know it's spiritual warfare. I don't even look at the person. I just forget them and done because it don't even matter.
It's laughable at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, whatever. I'm not. There's no, there's no hard feelings. We have to
Mhm.
be. We have to. Man, this is like getting too deep. We need a
You
workshop. We
have
don't
to you
just.
have to use it. You
When
have
you
to
drop that book, you
recognize
have to
that.
drop the book with some workshop here. Some like some on the
Absolutely.
farming thing. It's some daddy thing. We need that work.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, you can't mess up. You are the magic. They got it from you. They learned it from you. There would be no sorcerer, there would be no masonry, there would be no space where those pale-faced magicians could do the magic that they're doing on our people if it wasn't for our people
Bananas.
in the first place. They got it from us. So no mas I can. If they're sorcerizing up the place and doing all the things that they're doing, clearly I can too. And so
Yeah,
I
and I don't
just
want
I
to
don't know.
mess up
I
the place. I mean, and this is the thing. We're gonna have to do a part two about part three in a sense of this, but this conversation from here because
from
I
here
was
on
thinking
out.
it was we're gonna talk about healing, but I don't even know if it is the airways can handle this still. But
Hey, we have to give them
but
what they're
I
ready for.
know I'm gonna leave you all with this. You see, she's talking about magic, and I've been in so many religions I can't even keep up. I'm just like my daddy. I just know, we like to just learn,
Hmm.
scholastic. And when it comes to this meditation and this what's trending and whatnot, I think it is what the sister's saying. It's not, what the enthusiasm that I've seen today is like, yo, they're doing it. It's not to be tit for tat. It's not to do anything like reverse race. It's about the awareness. When somebody said, "Did you read what your name means? Did you do the history on your name?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, yeah." Like decide to be obedient. And then
Hmm.
one thing when you talk about magic, and I use the correlation, the parallel of magic, miracles, same thing, man.
Same
And I
exact thing.
learned, I think it's in 2021, 2020, really, I mean, it's lifestyle. You're already practicing this, but
Hmm.
obedience, now obedience
Hmm.
releases miracles,
Hmm.
not your
If you align
emotions.
yourself daily with that obedience, if you align yourself daily with that energy, all you have to do is listen. There's times when I don't know what to do next, and I just ask the divine mother, please, what's my next move? Where am I going next? And I receive it and I make the move, and that's that.
This is it, you focus. And I love the fact that you've talked about self-love and touch. Not much people touch about the self-discovery. What the heck is self-love? It's you taking time, solitude for yourself, not time to be ting up on the internet and
It
think you
doesn't
have to
mean get my
give that
nails done,
to
which
yourself.
sure, if you want to get your nails done, get your nails done. But
Yeah,
self-love is not just pampering the physical self. Self-love is discovering who the self is.
yeah, man. You
Yeah.
can't find yourself underneath them nails and thing. You can't even dial
I
and
mean, you could try, but I can't pick up anything with those things. I got off of that train a long time ago. It just doesn't work for me. It's,
let's see
it's
people
not for
bleed.
me.
So I'm afraid. Just do my toes. And since the pandemic, I've been doing my own toes. I have my girl that does my
Mhm.
toes, but she moved out of the province. But still,
Mhm.
yo, man, this has been a nice vibration. I teach any more questions? Are we good now? We good?
That's it. Yeah.
Good. I forgot about Twitter
Beautiful.
over in the end there. This has been beautiful. We're gonna really pull on to a sequel.
I would love
Next
to.
week we have Zion.
Beautiful.
Definitely tune in. She's like the most mystical artist I've ever seen. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking
Mm.
forward to talking with you again, Damaris, Alma at Bay. It's been a pleasure. It's been a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Sharon. Thank you for
Thank
having me
you.
on. I'm so blessed and so pleased to be able to share this space with you. And I'm really, really grateful for what you guys do and how you do it and the direction that you're, leading minds to that type of thought is it's commendable and I really appreciate it. So thank you. And thank you, Shayna,
Yes,
behind the scenes
girl.
collective
Yes.
out there.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you for making a decision to follow your vision. It's your girl, Lady Sharon, signing out with Damaris, Alma at Bay. One love. That was fun. Had a good time. That was a little
She
part.
was really, really good.
Yeah,
You
she
guys
touched
are
on
both really
everything
good.
though. It's like I'm looking at the notes. I'm like, we covered it. Ever dialect. If we're having